Hey guys, this is John, your host on Mgtow is Freedom. Right, Mgtow is men going their own way. Today I've been prompted to do a Sisyphus video on Mgtow. Right, it's just been one of those weird kind of days where things just aren't going right. Right, and the story of Sisyphus is that he was a Greek king, and there were many reasons that he was punished. Right, whether it was he didn't treat his people well, or he did something wrong with someone's daughter. That wasn't the important part of the story. What the important part of the story was, the lesson in morality, was that he was being punished for screwing up. Right? So his punishment in Hades was to roll a large stone up a hill. And the way I originally heard the story, the way it was relayed to me, was he would lay down to take a nap and rest. And when he did that, right, the stone would roll back to the bottom. Other versions of the story have the gods pushing it away from him, or it just getting away from him, or the hill getting steeper and eventually wearing him out. But let's go with the version of he pushes that stone up the hill every day, and he lays down to rest, and he wakes up and the stone's at the bottom again. And he has to start at the beginning every day. So I've had this weird kind of a day where everything has been kind of like a screw up, a goof up, and it kind of led me to this. I even got home, tried lighting up my cigar, and it was rolled so tightly that I couldn't draw the smoke through it. And I thought, it's definitely time to make a Sisyphus video with regard to Mgtow. Now, I know I'm not blazing a new trail here, but I'm going to try and talk about it in a way that has a positive aspect to it. Okay? So first, I'm going to start with the negative, and then I'm going to roll on to the positive. So, as Mgtow, we look at relationships, what society is doing to us, men. And we are like Sisyphus. Sometimes it's our fault, sometimes it's not. But when you have a woman, she is the stone, she is the work, she is the master that says, roll that stone up that hill for me. And you'll roll it up the hill to the point of exhaustion, and it'll get away from you and it'll roll back to the bottom. Or she'll have you roll one stone up the hill and you start working on it. And she says, hey, I have another stone over here, and you let go of the one to work on the other, and both stones get away and roll back to the bottom. You see, having a relationship with a woman is a lot like being Sisyphus. You cannot fucking win. That's the trick. Are you being punished? Yeah, you are, actually. Today is the Founder's Reserve by Glenn Levitt. Great scotch. So that is the punishment. Having the woman, right? You think you're doing it right. You think you're playing by all the rules. But something is going wrong and you're being punished. The reason you're being punished as a man is if you have a woman, she's going to give you chores. She's going to give you tasks that are impossible. And the moment, right, you think you're going to make it, something happens and it's all fucked up. History has demonstrated this time and time and time again. Right? To be in a relationship with a woman, to be married to one, is like being Sisyphus. You're given an impossible task that seemingly takes forever, and every time you think you're getting ahead, you find out you're back at the beginning. Right? You can't do enough right to have the punishment lifted. You can't be forgiven, right? You can't be given a nice job, right? It's the shittiest work, rolling a fucking boulder up a hill. Right? And we're told as men that that's our job. That's your job, man. Here's your job. It's to grow up. Then playtime is over and it's time to get a woman, marry her, have kids, and start rolling incredibly heavy stones up hills and having them roll back to the bottom. Right? And you think as a man, even though it's tedious, it's time consuming, it's hellish type slave labor, that the woman would appreciate it. No, they don't. You wake up every day and the stone is right back at the bottom. You haven't gotten anywhere, right? If you've been in a relationship, tell me if I'm wrong. Put it in the comments what you think, right? I would love to read it. I got to a few today. I love reading comments. Anyways, right? You think you're doing it right. You wake up in the morning and you're given a whole new set of tasks. You're not given credit for all the work you did yesterday, the day before, the week before, the month, the year. It doesn't matter. You don't get the fucking credit. You're like Sisyphus. She just points to the stone and says, make me happy. Do what I want. And off you go again. The dutiful man trying to please the woman, his God. Right? Because that's what your God is today, is social standards and what women want. As men, as Mgtow, you get to do this. Out of here, right? No more stone. Having a woman is like being fucking Sisyphus. You can't win. You can't get ahead. Do you guys feel that way? And if you haven't had a woman and had a long relationship, that is a relationship more than 3 months, you may not know what that feels like. So watch other videos on Sisyphus. Watch movies that represent that idea. Right? Get an idea or go live it yourself and find out. Right? You have a relationship with a woman, after 3 months, 4 months, she gets knocked up. Then she has a baby and you're responsible for it. Every fucking day for 18 years, you're responsible for it. Even after 18 years. That is the Sisyphus story. You can't fucking win. You're responsible for everything as the man, and we do accept our responsibility. But you will pay and pay and pay and pay, and you think you're getting ahead. You think you're making ends meet, right? You got a raise at your job. That money's already spent and gone. Sisyphus, stone back to the bottom. Right? Now, let's examine life from the perspective of Mgtow. No woman. No woman, no wife, no women. Get the fuck out of the way, right? You start with a clean slate. You go to job. It's a grind, day in and day out. Typically, it's referred to as the rat race. People claim you can't get ahead at your job, right? That it's toil and slave labor and it's miserable suffrage, as if that was Sisyphus. Well, believe it or not, that is a lie that you were told. That you can't get ahead in life. That your job is a wrecking ball on your soul, right?